Say hi, Joey Only.
Hi, Joey Only.
I'm Frankie Out. You're listening to Comedeorology Weather Report. And every Thursday night, I'm Frankie Out. You're listening to Comedeorology Weather Report every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Atlantic. Joey Only used to work for Vancouver Giants Western Hockey League team. Joey Only is a comedian plus meteorology. And Joey Only's a really nice guy. He does this. He fights fires as well as British Columbia. It's terrible weather comedian plus meteorology. I'm on his podcast on every Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Atlantic. It's on CFUR 88.7 FM Prince George, CKUW 95.9 FM Winnipeg, CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. It's on Shot Spotlight TV all across the entire country. It's all with Canada and especially in British Columbia and Vancouver Island. And Joey Only's a really nice guy. He fights fires as well as British Columbia in the summertime. And Joey Only's a really nice guy. I'm on his podcast every Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. It's on his YouTube channel, Caribou Weather Dude. Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude, comedian plus meteorology. Best luck to you. I'm Frank Out. It's the Joey Only Show every Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Atlantic. Say hi, Joey Only.
What's up, Joey?
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
Well, good morning, Prince George, and good afternoon, Winnipeg, and hello, Kamloops, and possibly Vancouver Island people down there in Victoria as well. I'm Joey Only. This is the Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. And today it was pretty bad. I mean, it woke up and it was snowing, and then it was big snowing, and then it was some freezing rain, and I got a lot of firewood in, but maybe not enough, and I'll probably have to go and get some more still yet. It's that kind of time here in Wells, BC. Wells, BC, you see the town I live in. It's not much of a town. It's a little kind of community, about 4,000 feet high in the Caribou Mountains here in the central parts of British Columbia, and it's a wonderful place, but it is a snowy place, and today it really began here for us. So, welcome to winter. This time change is happening. What is it today? It's the 2nd of November. It's Thursday night, 2nd of November. That's when we record the show. And I've got with me my whole panel of comedeorologists here to talk about how much the weather sucks in Canada. And that includes our number one star of the show, number one star of the universe, really, because he's the greatest worldwide weather sensation of all time. He's Frankie McDonald out there in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And we just love him, and we can't wait for his worldwide weather report in just a minute's time. And with us, as always, is the weatherman himself from Brooks, Alberta, who is also radio morning weatherman and appears on 10 or 15 different radio stations giving weather updates. He's a weather guy. His name is Brandon Houck. He's a weather guy, and he's our friend. And he's here once again. Okay, and then we got Hilding Donaldson out there in Grassy Plains, British Columbia, Hank Fleistra, who's there in Saskatchewan, Wilkie, Saskatchewan, and associate producer Image Cookie Bailey down there in Victoria, British Columbia, here to help get the show on the road with us. But first of all, Frank McDonald, how you doing so far?
I'm doing great so far. And it's really cold outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. It's really cold outside in these 3 nights. It's going to warm up later this weekend, New York City and all these places. Then it got lots of rain in Vancouver, British Columbia, Victoria, British Columbia, Seattle, Portland, all these places. Then it got warm air, cold air fighting each other, Montreal, because it falls here. And then this is the final month of meteorological fall. This Saturday coming up, time falls back, including British Columbia, Wells, British Columbia. Then you gain an hour's sleep on Saturday because time falls back.
Too bad it couldn't fall back so far that we could afford groceries again, Frankie. What about what's going on in Ontario this week for weather?
And Ontario's supposed to get lake effect rain and snow. They got cold front, warm air, cold air fighting each other. Then they got really cold air in for Ontario next week as well. Then it gets this warm air in St. Anne and winds in California too. It's going to turn really cold in California later on next week. India's in the dry season again, and lots of rainy season picking up from southern Brazil, including all across Madagascar, Mozambique, La Réunion, and Mauritius Islands. They got warm air, cold air in New Zealand fighting each other. Then they got some rain in Australia, southeastern Australia. because the Southern Hemisphere spring, because their summer starts next month, and Halloween's almost all over for another year. Then Americans got their Thanksgiving coming up on November the 23rd.
What did you do for Halloween this year, Frankie?
I just went for a walk and things like this. I just did a vampire. I just did a new vampire video. I sent it to you.
Did you? Oh well, we should probably watch it tonight, eh, folks?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll cue that up. So did you get any candy or anything, Frankie? Or
That means I used to go trick or treating when I was a young kid and things like this. It's pretty cold outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now this time of the year. This is the final month of meteorological fall. Florida's supposed to get some cold air. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. Cold air is going to drive all the way down to southeastern United States next week. Even Florida's getting it.
even Florida's getting it. What about the parade of storms here on the West Coast, Frankie? Is it ever going to stop storming in BC?
Going to keep on going for the rest of November, including Los Angeles might get their turn soon. And did you hear about this? Mike the engineer has left Trevor's Happy Hour. Mike the engineer is no longer with Trevor's Happy Hour. Mike the engineer successor to be concluded.
Oh, why did Mike leave?
Because he's not heard, he decided to leave. He moved on to the next chapter of his life.
Oh, I see. Yeah, wow. So how is the Clins and Clomp podcast this week? I'm sorry I couldn't be on, but I had the kids here all week, and we went trick-or-treating together, Frankie. It was pretty awesome.
Yes, sir.
But also I had to do homeschooling, so at 4 o'clock my time, when you go on Clins and Clomp podcast, I couldn't be on there with you guys all.
And that means my next interview with Kins Club is November the 29th, 2023 at 8 p.m. Atlantic, 4 p.m. Pacific. And December 20th, it's my final interview with Kins Club of 2023 and Christmas and New Year's. That was on December 20th, 2023. My last interview with Kins Club of the year.
Okay, I'm going to be at that one for absolute friggin' sure, okay? I promise. What else you got for us this week, Frankie?
That means that I'll be on Gary Dino Show Boozle this Saturday coming as well. Then I'll be on Jason Marshall. We don't have cookies on Sunday.
Right. Have you been dancing with all the girls lately, Frankie?
Quite a few of them. I got something else to say. It's going to bring.
Have you been out to the karaoke, singing songs and dancing with the girls?
Yes, I did that on Wednesday. I was singing karaoke and things like this. And this Saturday, I gotta go to karaoke this Saturday. Cape Breton Eagles lost to Sherbrooke Phoenix tonight, 1-0.
Are the Cape Breton Eagles going to be better this year? Weren't they like the worst team in the league last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. What about your Ottawa Senators, Frankie?
They're trying their best this year. They're trying their best. It's too early in the season yet. And CFL starts their playoffs this Sunday. This Saturday is the first round of CFL playoffs.
Who's going to win the Grey Cup, Frankie?
It's too early to tell yet. They got to go through first round. They have to go through semifinals. They got to go through conference finals, then eventually Grey Cup.
You don't have a prediction?
Not yet.
Wow, okay. I thought you'd already know. Brandon Houck has a question for you, Frankie.
Oh, Frankie, this is not a question, but did you know Brooks, Wells, and Sydney, Nova Scotia are the same temperature right now at 2 degrees? Isn't that awesome?
According to the weather network, it's really cold there right now because the warm air, cold air are fighting each other. Because next month, and if it really, really, really cold air in Siberia, including Yakutsk and those places, temperature will be -50 with a -70 wind chill there.
I think Hildium Donaldson probably has a question for you, Frankie.
Yeah.
He's muted, though.
Frankie, what's the temperature in Siberia right now?
It's getting really, really, really cold in Siberia. It's going down to -30 to -40 with the wind chill, without the wind chill in December.
Okay, so at what temperature does a penguin freeze? If you're going to freeze a penguin, how long do you have to leave it in Siberia?
Penguins in Antarctica.
But if you take it to Siberia, how long will it take to freeze a penguin?
It doesn't freeze penguin there either.
That's the best answer.
This week in space news, Frankie, they actually can see penguin poop from outer space.
There are lots of solar flares shooting from the sun and things like this.
Well,
There's so much penguin poop where the penguins all live that you can see the poop on the snow from outer space, from the International Space Station.
Well, I would hope so.
There must be scientists must be doing this experiment. Could be Russian scientists.
So it's like
by freezing penguin poop.
There's not many things visible from space that are created. You know, like there's the Great Wall of China. for example. That's the biggest man-made object. And then there's their penguin poop. The Great Wall of Penguin Poop.
The Great Wall of China, it was built a long time ago.
It was. And like
I was actually on the Great Wall of China, by the way.
Yeah, you were.
And I was climbing those steps, and those steps are all crooked, so you cannot run on the Great Wall of China. Just to confirm. And then there's a slide from where we went on the slide, and I got told to slow down on that slide because I was going too fast. That was 10 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, weren't you like 10 years old? So
no, I was not 10 years old. No, I was still in high school.
Okay, but take the credit, man. You were super advanced for high school. You were 10 years old in high school 10 years ago, sliding down the Great Wall of China like a little tiny red-haired torpedo. So
that's right. Yeah, pretty much. And then I was met at the bottom of the hill with some guys with some swords and stuff.
Mongols? What side of the wall did you land on?
The right side. There was a subway actually down there.
Building and
guys with swords on the subway. What kind of subway system is that, man? Why are there sword guys guarding the subway?
It was a sandwich shop. Yes, they're guarding that because they don't want me eating Subway sandwich.
So many more questions.
Did you hear about this? Then they got the total solar eclipse heading for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8, 2024.
Huh?
That's very true. We're all going to be at Frankie's house.
Monday, April 8, 2024. He'll be staying at Holiday Inn.
Also known as Frankie's house. He's going to be turning his house into an Airbnb. And we're all going to be crashing
there. Holiday Inn and Hotel in Sydney.
Such a nice house he's got. It's just like the Holiday Inn.
On Friday, November 3rd, I'll be on Base Guy's show.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You guys got questions for Frankie McDonald?
That was Frankie's way of changing the subject.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I'm going to send you a picture. I'm going to post a picture here of the Great Wall. Because I got proof.
Oh, vacation photos from when Brandon was 10 years old and had a full beard. So NASA did something super cool for Halloween. They actually released a photo. It looks like there's a skull growing out of the desert. I think it looks like a teddy bear skull personally. But NASA for Halloween said, "Happy Halloween, everyone. Check it out. The Sahara Desert has a big spooky face in it." So if you look that up, consult the Oracle, the Google, and you can see it. It's a super cool thing that there's a photo taken from the International Space Station. NASA put it out, said, "Be afraid. Yeah, the desert's haunted with skeletons."
That's not a question for Frankie, though, is it?
No, it's not. It's general space news.
Okay.
Frankie, do you get wildlife right there in your town sometimes? You see deer or anything like that?
That means the Base Guy is still doing the show every Friday nights at 10 p.m. Atlantic, 9 p.m. Eastern. This time last year, he did a Base Guy show at 4 p.m. Atlantic, 3 p.m. Eastern.
I'm not sure if Frankie heard you, Hank. Frankie?
Frankie, can you hear me?
Hi, Hank. I'm doing great, Silver. I hear you.
All right. Do you ever get wildlife right there in town where you are? Deer or stuff like that?
They get deers out in the woods. They probably have wolves out in the woods and things like this. And probably some bears.
And you don't shoot at them, right?
No. I have to stay far back from the bears.
Ah, yeah.
Wouldn't you rather put a saddle on a bear and ride it around? It'd be like the biggest dog to ride on, or like riding a cow or something.
Sometimes when the guy's dancing or barbecuing, he gets chased by bears. You will return in 2024 as your vampire. Here he is to explain.
Hey, hang on. It's Vampire Frankie out.
This is Vampire Frankie
I
McDonald.
hope all you guys had a good Halloween is great this year.
Hope you had a great Halloween. Halloween was great this year.
Vampire Frankie out. I'm going to see how you doing so here. Vampire Frankie out is here. And I hope you had a good Halloween. And this is going to get some hair. Anyways, the Vampire Frankie out good here. I will see you in Halloween 2024. So thank you now.
Hi, Frankie. I'm a vampire too. Frankie. Oh, where'd you go, vampire? Oh, it's Zorkton.
Hey everyone, guess who's back? I am Sortron.
No.
I just came back to planet Earth once again just for a little visit. And I've been to Saturn's moon Titan before. I've been to Jupiter's moon Europa before. Sortron is back for a little bit. I've been to planet Pluto. I've been to one of the dwarf planets that used to be a planet. Things are going great so far. Sortron is back. I've been to Mars, moons, Phobos, and Deimos. Things are going great so far. Sortron, I'm back. I'm doing great so far. Sortron has returned to planet Earth for a little bit for Halloween. Sortron is back on Earth for Halloween. Things are going really great so far. Sortron is back on Earth for Halloween. Things are going great so far. I'm doing really well. Things are going great. I've been to other planets and other galaxies, Andromeda Galaxy, M30 Galaxy, things like this. I've been to other galaxies and places like this, like Andromeda Galaxy, Milky Way, other solar systems and Milky Way Galaxy. Things are going right so far. I have to get going now. I got other planets to visit. See you soon. Bye for now.
Bye, Zorkton.
I just got another new video. Hey everybody, here's my Frankendown World Tour November 2023 update. When I go on the World Tour, I will never return back to Sydney, Nova Scotia ever again. I'll be going on the World Tour for the rest of my life. I'll be doing multiple World Tours. I'll be doing World Tour multiple times, not only once, but multiple times for the eternal. And I'll be going to every single country in the world multiple times. I'll be performing on stage, I'll be dancing on stage, and I'll be giving those speeches, both my weather reports and things like this. I'll be doing comedy skits on stage and feeding in every country in the world. I'll need an agent, I'll need all the guys, I'll need an agent, I'll need a lawyer, I'll need all the other guys too, I'll need everyone. When I travel to every single country in the whole entire face of the planet Earth on my world tour, I'm going to every country in the world. There's no going back for me. Once I go on the world tour, there's no going back for me. Once I go on the world tour, there's no going back for me. I'll be going to every single country in the world, performing on stage. I'll need logistics and things like this. I'll need catering, things like this. I'll need a pilot for the private jet. I'll be going to every single country in the world ever. I'll be going to so many countries around the planet Earth. I'll be going to one country after another. Not only once, but multiple times for the eternity. When I travel to every country on the planet, the eternal. And Frankendown World Tour is going to be epic. When I travel to every country on the planet Earth, I'll be traveling to one country right after another, and another, multiple times. It's going to be eternal. There's no going back for me. Once I go on the World Tour, there's definitely no going back for me. I'm Frankendown.
When are you leaving for your world tour?
And unknown yet.
You like my vampire teeth, Frankie?
Yeah.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
Do you want me to wear them for the whole show?
No.
Okay. I'm really glad you said no. Really, really glad. Let's move on. We got Frankie, but he'll be around for the whole episode, of course, as always. Frankie McDonald, our wonderful friend in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Brandon Houck, he's out there in Brooks, Alberta. He's the radio weatherman. He's the morning guy on the radio. People complain about his antics, and he keeps his job nonetheless because he's the best. And his bosses know it. He's Brandon Houck out there. Time for the Brandon Houck Report.
The Brandon Houck Report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Houck Report.
That'd be because I'm on the radio right now. And I tend to get sexier by the time I go on the air, so that's how it works here.
Yes, we are. We're having a good time tonight, aren't we? All right. So, yes, we've got some weather to tell you about. We've got to hold on the wrong screen. I clicked on the wrong screen because I'm crazy, just like that. And now we've got some weather to show you. It's 2 degrees here. We've got 2 degrees in Wells, Prince George 0. It's 14 in Victoria. Victoria, BC, 14 degrees right now. That is crazy. And right around, I'd say, Wilkie area, that's about -2. So that's pretty dandy for the evening there. We've got precipitation moving in as we go through the night tonight. So that is Thursday, November the 2nd here. And we've got some snow accumulating just to the north of Calgary at this hour. And we're going to see that precipitation move its way through. Now, there is a slight chance that we might get some freezing rain in the southern part of the province overnight tonight into tomorrow. So that's going to be the situation there. And then as I'll take these temperatures off for the next few days. Looks like we're going to see high pressure in place. It's actually not, I want to say high pressure. It's going to be textbook Chinook weather throughout the week here. They get that blast of snow moving through Saturday into Sunday, and temperatures for the next few days, especially for the weekend. It looks like we're going to be hitting double digits on the plus side.
For Alberta, yeah.
Absolutely lovely for the weekend into the beginning of next week. And it looks like this weather pattern's going to be sticking around right throughout the majority of next week. I'm just trying to get this.
What's coming next week for Winnipeg?
Winnipeg, well, they will eventually tap into some of that milder air eventually, but they'll have a couple of rounds of snow to contend with through the weekend and on into the early stages of next week. Now that I've got this working, hopefully I can pull up these photos that I want to share with you of my time 10 years ago on the Great Wall of China. That's it.
And what about American Thanksgiving travel? That's back around November 23rd. Then got to know the weather about the state for the American Thanksgiving travel.
In
the state where Trey Campbell lives.
Where does Trey Campbell live again?
Houston.
Ah.
Where they have a problem.
With weather, apparently. Thanksgiving holiday weather.
Interstate highways are going to be on American Thanksgiving week. Interstate highways are going to be so busy. JFK International Airport and airports down in the States is going to be so busy.
Who is the leader of Planet Houston? Sorry, that's not even a vampire quote. That's from Superman 2. What else, Brandon? You almost got in trouble this week for playing for doing what? What did you do that was so awful?
What did I do that was so awful? Well, a lot of you probably know this, but many of you don't, that I actually, I usually get up at the crack of dawn, well before the crack of dawn, 3 a.m. in the morning. And, I do the weather for all of our radio stations here. And on Halloween, Halloween's the day where you like to act a little silly. And I was acting silly all morning long.
No.
Every hour, every half hour, every break, and I would play the recorder on the air, and I would act like a chicken on the air, and that's what I did. I was the Doppler chicken, and I played the recorder. I put on a performance of a lifetime for all of our listeners at 6 in the morning when that alarm went off at 6 a.m., and they got to hear my greatest performance ever. And it was awesome. And then I got to act like a chicken, and it was awesome too. And I did that all morning long for all our beautiful listeners here in Brooks, Alberta, and Blairmore, Alberta. It was awesome. Weather! With the Doppler chicken. It's the Doppler chicken. Hey! Oh, Medicine Hat is 0 degrees. Doppler chicken can't fly. So, as we go through the rest of the day today, you'll see that mainly sunny sky to high around 9.
That is really great. Does anyone have questions for Brandon about weather and Brooks Bandits and things like that?
I just want to hear Brandon scream like a chicken.
Scream like a chicken. Hold on, I'll scream like a chicken for you.
Can you play the recorder?
Once I get this picture pulled up, but it's not working. Okay. So,
can you give us a weather update, but like in the Chicken Man?
In the Chicken Man. The Chicken Man. All right.
Doppler chicken weather update here on the Comedeorological Report.
Doppler Chicken with the weather update for tonight. We're going to see our low down to about -2 degrees. And then for tomorrow, how about a mix of sun and cloud up to 7 degrees? Looking mighty fine for some chicken weather around here. And oh boy, we just pulled up a picture of me on the Great Wall of China. And I'm going to pull that up. Because that's what we do. We take a look at pictures together on the show. And there it is. Look at this handsome fellow on the Great Wall of China. Look at that.
And this would have been when
That is
Brandon
the
was
real.
about 10 years old.
I was like, yeah, 10 years old. And guess what? I still have that sweater.
See, when Brandon said that he was doing a chicken thing, I was picturing Mark McKinney from Kids on the Hall as the chicken lady in that legendary, brilliant skit as the chicken lady.
Because the chicken lady loves life. Do you love life? I thought you might that you put it in your ad.
It was brilliant writing.
If you see that sweater, look at that. The same sweater. How's that possible? Hey?
Well, you haven't grown since you were 10, so it still fits.
Guess my first guess is you don't engage in a lot of manly activities.
Well, I did climb the Great Wall. Come on now.
That
This
is
is a
a
tough
stupid
climb.
thing to be doing.
But I was remarking how it's hard to find the other day, how it's hard to find clothes that for my size in a thrift store because guys my size just wear clothes until they fall off.
And
Oh, yeah.
did you hear about this? Tibet, that's in Western China. Tibet is
Brandon was doing the chicken lady and they didn't like it.
No, these guys didn't like it either, I don't think. No.
Brandon met some real Mongols, and fun fact, it was right when his big people teeth came in. He just lost all his baby teeth.
He just lost. Anyone else got questions for Brandon before we move on tonight?
We don't often see childhood photos of Brandon, but there he is, like getting into
There you go.
right after Joey has challenged his manliness for some inexplicable reason. I gotta say, climbing the Great Wall of China and fighting Mongols is pretty awesome.
In one day, sliding down a slide. That was after they told me to slow down on the slide.
You were moving too fast, man. You're human lightning.
Human
Human
lightning.
lightning.
I'm not really
Flash.
questioning Brandon. I'm not really questioning Brandon's manliness because it's obvious that you're a radio morning guy and you don't run chainsaws for a living. You don't work on a ranch. You don't work in construction. You don't do things that wear clothes out and destroy them.
That's
you don't do
right.
a lot of painting
That's why I
houses
have-
that would wreck a
By
sweater.
the way, this sweater that I have here is my junior high sweater from grade 8. So this sweater is older than that other sweater that I had on the Great Wall. And I got that on the Quebec trip when we went to Quebec in grade 8.
Awesome.
Your grade 8 clothes fit you?
Yeah, this
That's
sweater. It
that's
does.
weird.
Just
My
the
grade eight-
zipper doesn't
my grade
work.
eight-
You just stopped growing in grade 5 or
No, I kept growing, but see, yeah, it still fits perfectly. I just can't get my elementary Eastbrook t-shirt on. That one doesn't fit anymore. It's a little too tight. I tried getting it on a couple years ago. It didn't work out very well, but it's still in the my little happy face Eastbrook t-shirt there. Yep.
He's a very, very funny man. He's Brandon Hauk, and he's a great weatherman too. He's a great radio man, and love having him on every week. Who wants to go next? I still got 3 people we haven't talked to. How's your weather doing? And who wants to go next? I said, who wants to go next? Ah!
Imogen.
I've been voluntold by Frankie Mac. This is everyone's very Canadian way of saying no one wants to talk to Joey.
Hey now.
Victoria weather. So it's West Coast weather. We're at the wettest part of the West Coast. The ocean's always dripping into everyone's basement here. And then if it's not, then we've got damp clouds floating through the living room. So we've gone from blue skies to gray skies. Lows of 0, highs of like 13, because it's mild. It's really, really mild here. But it's not so mild that we can't do a lot of cool stuff. So recently, I went to a wiener dog convention. And I'll say this, the coolest thing about a wiener dog convention before Halloween is seeing herds of wiener dogs in costume racing around a field.
Convention.
Wiener
And
dog
it's your-
convention.
I found it on the Shuli Yeager now does BS show, and Bob Levy, he's the co-host of this BS show on the Shuli Network. Shuli Yeager doesn't do the Shuli show anymore. He does the Uncle Rico show and the BS show.
Well, that's good news.
What other kind of conferences do they have in Victoria? Like wiener dog conferences?
Well, there's a lot of specialty pets, and there's a lot of collectors of things here. Novelty pets, exotic pets. Now, novelty pets, it sounds bad to use that phrasing because they're not just a novelty. They are companion animals, but they're super cool. And
But they're bougie ones.
Well, like, I mean, I have a hairless Sphynx. For those who aren't familiar with the Sphynx breed, they're not just hairless cats. There's different types of Sphynx. My little guy is the Canadian Sphynx. He's, he looks the way he does. Another kind looks different. Wiener dogs, definitely novelty pets, but they're also super cool. Like, these are really awesome companion animals because of their personality. So
I have met a wiener dog before who was pretty nice, actually. Mr. Awesome, Roy Robbins there from,
yeah,
his wiener dog was amazing. It's true.
They're very cool.
Like the only
animals.
wiener dog I'd ever met before. I was like, wow, they exist. First of all, I was like shocked. I thought people were just making that up.
Yeah.
No, there's actually such thing as a wiener dog out there, and people have them, I suppose. I don't know why, but I guess they're real nice.
They have really wild personalities, their energy level, like the personality traits. A lot of people get novelty pets for the aesthetic, but then once you get to know the animal, then that's where the companion side of it comes in, and they are super cool. So seeing a standard wiener dog, which is actually pretty big, and then a bunch of mini wiener dogs, and then puppies, like little cocktail wieners versus smokies, it was cool to see just all these little wiener animals running around in costumes. There's so many.
Frankie, what does a wiener dog sound like when it howls?
What? You've never heard a wiener dog, have you? I was hanging out with this little guy named Romeo.
Shuli Yeager coming to Sydney on Monday, April 8, 2024 for Total Soul Eclipse. Shuli Yeager's coming down. Compound Media's coming down. Trey Campbell's coming down. Roger the Wild Child Show's coming down as well.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Frankie's going to have a big table.
Jason Marshall's coming down too.
It's going to have a big table set with a big feast. I can't wait.
Who else is coming down? All the people from Compound Media is coming down.
What about you, Hank Vleister? Are you going to go see the solar eclipse, the once-in-a-lifetime show?
Monday, April 8, 2024.
He's on mute and he doesn't know
Gary and Dino's coming down. That's another thing. Gary and Dino's coming down.
Oh, I like those guys too. They're really good at comedy.
Is like not only is Gary and Dino's show tougher than us, but they're also funnier and more popular.
I think you should go. Have you ever gone to a wiener dog convention, Hank?
Have I gone to a storm chasing convention?
No, a wiener dog convention.
No.
Because, I mean, like, you've been around a lot of the world, it sounds like, right? So just thought maybe. How common are wiener dog conventions, you think, in Saskatchewan?
How common are what?
Wiener dog conventions.
If you're not part of the community, you don't know about it. That's the thing with these specialty groups, is if you're not a part of the community, you have no idea it exists. So
I guess, because, like, most people don't care. So stick with us, Hank. No, don't don't mute yourself. I'm trying to get to Hank. I'm trying to talk to Hank now. Don't turn that mute back on. Stop that muting. I know it's very polite of you, but stop it for a minute. Okay,
Yeah.
Hank, how's the weather in Saskatchewan this week?
It's normal for early November, except that we don't have any snow right now here in Wilkie. Parts further south, I think they still have some snow, but here in Wilkie we're snowless. We've got bare ground, so yeah, I don't mind it. It's fine with me.
It's the Hank segment. What do you got for us this week, Hank?
I saw bald eagles when I was out hiking recently, and I don't get that much. Yeah, I don't get that much. They only come through in the spring and the fall, and you don't see them in the summer or the winter. So they kind of migrate.
No, I guess they'd be probably migrating from up north and passing through that area.
they went to a local lake, and there's not many geese still around, but this particular lake has some geese that hang out there year round because there's people who feed them. So the geese stay at this particular lake where there's people in cottages and cabins. And anyway, so the bald eagles decided this is a good place for them to hang out. And there's like, they don't normally hang out there. There's like a whole family of 4 or 5 bald eagles just picking off geese one by one by one by one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Yeah, and it's also fascinating to me that geese would decide to suffer the winter in Saskatchewan in exchange for food. But if they just flew south, they'd have food too.
If they get food, they'll stick around. I don't understand it, but they will.
It must be so miserably cold to be a goose in that. Like, I get it. Like, you see some in BC in places, you know, but like on rivers that flow and things. But BC is not Alberta when it comes to, or Saskatchewan, or Manitoba when it comes to how cold it gets.
Crazy cold all winter long and into the fall and spring too. Yeah. That's what the geese think partway through the winter.
Hilding Donaldson, what do you got for us this week? What's going on the farm? You ever been to a wiener dog convention?
I just found it out. Nelson Peabody's in Singapore.
In Singapore. Is that where he lives? Or is that you just visiting Singapore?
He's working over there. That's his business trip.
Crazy. I can't imagine going to Singapore. Hilding, you ever gone to a wiener dog convention in Singapore?
Well, I have an interesting one when you talk about wiener dog convention. We had a mud bog this spring, and the car that won the contest was called the Little Wiener Dog.
Is that so?
And it was a black 78 Firebird 4x4 made into a jacked up 4x4 truck. It's on one of my videos. It's kind of interesting. But it was called the Little Wiener Dog, and I just had to think about that when you said wiener dog convention.
Awesome.
A Firebird that was turned into a 4x4.
Yeah.
I love it. You know what? The area that I grew up in, that is the kind of thing that we would see like in someone's front yard. If you didn't have a Firebird on blocks, every third house or, you know, trailer or whatever, shack, you weren't in that neighborhood.
I mean, I can relate to that in the 80s, but I didn't see any with like monster truck tires.
There's so many vehicles jacked right up on monster truck tires. I never saw a Firebird, but I did see a lot of like smaller vehicles just put on huge big boy legs. It was great. It was the coolest thing. There's so many monsters running around.
So, Hilding, what's new on the farm this week?
Well, we have geese actually staying a little later than usual. I saw 300 geese or more out in our calving yard this morning. And it started snowing a little later than it did for you. It started at 12 o'clock here, and now we've got about 8 centimeters of snow. But I managed to get my firewood in this week. That's good.
That's excellent.
November 7th, solar winter begins. It's nothing to do with the weather. It's the length of daylight. Solar winter begins on November 7th. Meteorological winter starts on December 1st. Astronomical winter starts on December 21st.
That's true. It's true. We are, and they got the time change this weekend, Frankie. They're going to change back the clocks again. I don't know why we keep doing this. I think it's the stupidest thing that we do in civilization. Maybe. I don't know. No, it's not. There's a lot of stupid things.
They still change clocks in Australia, too.
Why? What's the point? I enjoy having light a little, like when it gets dark here in the middle of the winter, it's dark at like 4. Before 4.
Up north at Dawson Creek and Fort St. John, they don't change time.
No, why would you?
Hey,
Because
Brandon, when is the last sunset up above the Arctic Circle like Nome, Alaska?
Oh boy, questions. Oh,
I think it's around November 18th, Frankie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Around November 18th, 2023.
I've been paying attention, haven't I? To all Frankie's quips He said that last week. He told us. If you guys didn't remember, it's because you weren't paying attention as much as I was.
Next Saturday's Remembrance Day. That's the last holiday here before Christmas.
It's true. Remembrance Day, yeah, it's a long weekend now every year in Canada. So that's something that wasn't the way it was as a kid. As a kid, we would go and stand at the cairn, and we had a cairn built at our school because our school was a country school. You know, it wasn't in town, so we couldn't just walk to a ceremonial area. So we had a cairn built at our school when I was maybe in grade 1, and then we had vets from World War I come out, and those guys are all no longer alive.
In the United States of America, the last holiday there before Christmas is Thanksgiving Day, November 23rd.
Anyone got some little known facts this week?
Oh, I got a story for you from this week. The story came out today. So, a man here in Utah, he ordered a milkshake from Grubhub, and the guy who was delivering this milkshake, well, apparently he really had to go. So he had a styrofoam cup in his vehicle, and then he delivered the milkshake to the guy in his dinner, as you see here, and he accidentally gave the guy the styrofoam cup that wasn't the milkshake. So Buddy here took a little sip, and with milkshakes, you have to really work on it to get that perfect sip, to get the milkshake to go up the straw, right? Well, he went down on that thing, and yeah, didn't end up very well. He got some warm urine.
It ended up better than expected. Really?
Well,
when your
is
snack
that
is
somehow
so bad,
worse than cold urine?
When your snack is so bad you wind up in the news, then you've done something right with your life.
It's a fact. Australia is wider than the moon.
All right,
it's a fact. Headphones can increase the bacteria in your ears.
And did you know? Did you know, having trouble skipping stones, scientists found that tilting them at a 20-degree angle in your hand and also throwing them towards the water at a 20-degree angle is the key to making them bounce as many times as possible.
Well, I would think you have to throw it towards the water.
You've rampas, haven't you?
Like the trick is to not throw it towards the water. I mean, who would say that? Okay, what is the national animal of Scotland? Guesses.
The unicorn.
It's Brandon. Look at that red hair.
Yeah, it's me. Totally. I am I've never been to Scotland. You know what?
Fun fact, Brandon was on the original Scottish flag. He was riding a sheep and waving a golf club. He had also just tossed a caber, so, but they had to change it because it didn't make any sense.
It's a fact. The Eiffel Tower gets taller in the summer.
Yeah. So what did I do on Halloween?
Yeah.
Well, I, as you've heard earlier, I was on the radio and I got a few complaints from being a goofball on the radio. So that was the successful first part of the day. And then I went on the air later in the day and I still acted like a fool on the air. And that's what I did all day on Halloween.
Decent. I just threw on my gothic laziest and went out and raised the dead a little and then came home. That was about it. Okay, Hilding, how do you celebrate Halloween on a farm? Is this something you really recognize or no? Do you dress up the cows?
No, I don't see anything happen to the animals or anything, but I usually get prepared because there are some neighbor kids that actually do come out to the farm sometimes, but there wasn't any this year.
But just in case they do, he does butcher cows on Halloween.
So Hilding, you dressed up as a cowboy for Halloween this year, right?
Exactly.
Perfect. The childhood dream. Every other 8-year-old wants to be a police officer or a fireman, and then there's the ones who want to be a cowboy. Hilding's living the childhood dream.
What did Buffy dress up for as? Okay, So Switzerland prohibits the ownership of just one guinea pig. Why would that be, Imogen?
They're pack animals.
Yeah. It's considered animal abuse.
Yeah, they don't do well alone. There's a lot of birds are like that as well. They need to be like with a small flock of at least like 2 or 3 for the ones that are okay with that sort of thing. But yeah, guinea pigs are definitely, you have to have little herds of them. And having a herd of guinea pigs running through your house is amazingly cute.
I guess so, eh? Did you know that tigers have striped skin? It's not just their fur. And a shrimp's heart is in its head.
Well, for what it's worth, kitty cats also have like markings on their skin. So if you happen to, and you can see this with Sphinx because their hair doesn't grow in, but they have the markings of regular cats on their skin. When you have a hair cat, if you have to take them to the vet where they have to shave a part for like, to give them an IV or for surgery, then that's where you can really see the markings on their skin nice and clear. It's a cat thing. They have tattoos.
Frankie?
Any animal with colored fur, light colors have light skin and dark colors have dark skin, just about across the board.
Yeah.
So you find that cows that have red hair have white skin, and cows with dark brown hair have dark brown skin.
I would hope that bears do too, just because that'd be super cool. I feel like humans are the only animals that just have the same kind of skin tone all over their body, regardless of hair color. Like I like to think if my eyebrows fell out, I still have eyebrows there, but
hair is so weird. It just grows out of our heads only. Frankie, who can hold their breath longer? Dolphins or sloths?
Dolphins.
According to legend, your mom.
Hey now.
Maybe I'm thinking of my mom.
I think so. Actually, it's sloths. Sloths can hold their breath for over 40 minutes by slowing their heart rate. I mean, that's crazy. Sloths are really lazy.
They're conditioned.
They don't even care if they breathe.
They have no reason to be holding their breath. They just do because they're lazy.
How many different flavors of Fruit Loops are there?
They got red, orange, yellow, green, and purple.
So that's
final answer?
That's 5. Lime, yellow is banana, orange is
I'm gonna get 6.
Red is cherry.
Incorrect. Fruit Loops are all the same flavor despite their different color.
What?
Same with Skittles.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a ripoff.
Well, we're told that, and it's a placebo effect. It's a psychosomatic element that we believe it to have these different flavors, whereas they don't. They're just lacquered different. Jelly beans have bug poop in the lacquer. Shellac comes from the shell bug or something. I can't remember. Brandon, we went over this on gross food trivia a while ago.
Yes.
Some kind of gross bug poop is used to shine up jelly beans, but yeah, in most candy with assorted flavors, they don't actually use any different flavorings. It's strictly placebo that we believe they taste different. We believe that red tastes like red and yellow tastes like something tangy.
Okay, well, most wasabi paste isn't real wasabi. Venus is the only planet that spins clockwise. What can you get in McDonald's in the Philippines that you cannot get here?
Actual chicken.
Yeah.
The filet o fish is an actual fish. I'm guessing one of the animals they claim their protein is pulled from is actually in it. But let's go.
How about rice? Maybe
Probably
rice.
red snapper.
The answer is spaghetti.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they have that here briefly?
We may have.
I think when pizza
I know it
was
was
introduced,
pizza we had.
Yeah, they had the McPizza, and I think they tried introducing spaghetti, but no one wanted it because it didn't go over well here. No one wanted McGetty.
Did you know that competitive art was once an Olympic sport? That must have been brutal.
Well, did you also know The cranberries bounce when they're ripe. Even the earliest bounce berry farmers gave their berries the bounce test by rolling them down 20 steps. Only those that reached the bottom were deemed ready to eat.
And they were still disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
What are the words to the Spanish national anthem?
I don't speak Espanol.
Hilding, what do you think the words are in the Spanish national anthem? You can paraphrase.
I wouldn't have a clue.
I'm going to say if you're asking about lyrics to a song that none of us have any real reason to know, it probably doesn't have any.
Probably.
This is
It's
the
probably an
case.
instrumental that has like different regions have their own take on it. Like I'm guessing that it's just it's an instrumental that's been assigned different variations.
The only other countries like that are Bosnia, Herzegovina, Kosovo, and San Marino. They all have no official lyrics to their. You can just sing whatever you want when the song comes on.
Son of a monkey, I was right.
So when your country's been so awful, there's nothing good to say about it. So you just stand there.
What? Okay, hold on. Spain is awesome. We got some of the most brilliant and amazing artists have come out of Spain. 60s
Okay, I was wrong. What did American use for toilet paper before there was toilet paper, Frankie?
They use some kind of things for the trees and leaves.
Leaves.
Oh, moss was used at times.
What do you think? What do you think, Hank? Toilet paper alternatives in pre-toilet paper times.
A lot of parts of the world use water. Like still, I can't remember what the little cup is called, but there's like a little designated cup, and you take like a little cup of warm water in the bathroom or fill it up in there, and then you do it that way.
Backcountry backpacking, and I know for a fact that it's possible to use fruit sprouts, but I don't entirely recommend it.
No, that sounds awful. Don't use poison ivy either. The answer was corn cobs.
Oh,
I
that sounds just horrific.
Did you know that British military tanks are equipped to make tea?
They have to be. They're British. It's mandatory. You're not allowed to do anything in Britain if you can't affix a tea kettle to it.
A blue whale's heartbeat can be heard for over 2 miles away. Their heart weighs almost 400 pounds.
Frankie's having a blast.
Did you know that Mickey and Minnie Mouse, the people who did their voices, got married in real life? And Queen Elizabeth II, she was a trained mechanic, which means that she was infinitely more talented and competent than her son.
Well, did you know roosters can identify themselves by looking at the mirror?
Didn't know that.
There you go. Now you know. New cool fact of the week.
And did you hear about this? And did you hear two more minutes left for Joey Only Show.
We got 4 minutes left. Ketchup used to be sold as medicine. You can't hum while you're pinching your nose. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. The longest walking distance in the world is 14,000 miles. Humans are the only animals that blush. Pigs can't look up into the sky. Okay, so you get the idea. There are more than 200 Kit Kat flavors in Japan. Humans have tongue prints. Just like fingerprints, the Eiffel Tower was supposed to be in Barcelona, but it wasn't. The shortest commercial flight in the world is in Scotland. Dolphins give each other names. There's a shell garage that's actually shaped like a shell. And of course, IKEA rugs were used for the Night Watch cloaks in Game of Thrones. The blob of toothpaste on your toothbrush has a name. Blue whale's tongue can weigh as much as a young elephant. Crocodiles can't stick out their tongues. There's an ant species that's unique to New York City. You could fall to the center of the earth in 19 minutes. Anyways, Frankie, how can people find you on the internet? That's the last fact we got.
If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is @FrankieMacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is FrankieMacD1984. My Blue Sky is @FrankieMacD. My TikTok is FrankieDown1984. My Clapper FrankDown1984. My Twitch is FrankDown1984. My Snapchat is FrankieABCDON. My YouTube channel is Dogs Wolves, and my LinkedIn is FrankieDown. Brandon, you got Snapchat. Brandon, you got TikTok now.
Yeah,
I'm Frankie Down. You're listening to Joey Only Show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
And Brandon House got TikTok now.
I've had it for a while. I'm just getting it rolling, rolling with the punches. Yeah.
I refuse to use it. I'm a YouTuber, and that's
Joey,
why every episode of this show can be found on my YouTube channel, Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. That's my name, Joey Only. And this is the show I produce here in Wells, British Columbia, up here in the mountains. And Imogen.in, she's down there in Victoria. Of course, we just had Brandon Hauk, we were just talking to. He's the weatherman over in Brooks, Alberta. We got Frankie McDonald, the star of the show out there in Sydney, Nova Scotia. We got Hank Vliestra over there in Wilkie, Saskatchewan, and Hilding Donaldson over not too far that way from me in Grassy Plains, British Columbia. And of course, we also have Vampire Man from hell.
Hell, Michigan.
Yes,
Hell,
from
Norway.
Michigan.
There's a hell in Norway.
Hell, Norway.
What things you're not allowed to do in Russia? You're not allowed to take pictures of dams. You're not allowed to take pictures of churches, cathedrals. You're not allowed to take pictures of railroads over there. You're not allowed to speak against the government in Russia.
You're also not allowed to be a vampire, Frankie.
Frankie, did you say you're not allowed to take pictures of
You're not
wolves?
allowed to jaywalk. You're not allowed to have toilet paper over to Singapore.
Frankie, did you say you're not allowed to take pictures of wolves in Russia? Did I hear that
You're
right?
not allowed to take pictures over there either.
You're not allowed to take pictures in Russia, just period. Clear across the board, no photos.
Because Singapore, you're not allowed to jaywalk. You're not allowed to have toilet paper over there. You're not allowed to chew gum over in Singapore.
You're not allowed to jaywalk here either, but you know.
Over in Japan, you're not allowed to talk inside the train at all. You have to wrap your arms.
The difference is if you jaywalk there, they banish you to another dimension.
Okay, so Frankie, did you add LinkedIn to all of your links? Did I hear that right?
My link tree is Frankie McD.
Oh, Linktree. Okay, because I thought you said LinkedIn. And
Linktree.
Okay.
My link tree is Frankie McDonald.
Awesome. All of your links everywhere in the world. There's a million of them. Frankie just
that's the show.
That's the show. Okay, that's the show, everybody. This is your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada, and it's going to keep sucking more and more and more and more as we get into the darkness and bitterness and coldness and hostility and ruthlessness that is winter that comes every year that has no mercy, no stopping. Nothing can prevent its coming. It's here to stay. It's winter. Bye.
Say hi, Joey Only.
Hi, Joey.
I'm Frankie Down. You're listening to me, Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Joey Only runs a podcast called Caribou Weather to Community Plus Meteorology on his YouTube channel, Caribou Weather to Joey Only Community Plus Meteorology. He used to work for Vancouver Giants Western Hockey League team. Joey Only's a really, really, really nice guy. And I'm on this podcast every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic, alongside with Imogen Cookie Bailey and Brandon Hauk, the weather specialist of Alberta. And it's on CFUR 88.7 FM Prince George, the CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. It's on Shaw Spotlight TV, and it's a traditional television. Joey Only's a really nice guy. I'm on his podcast every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. And everyone see me on Joey Only show. Best luck to Joey Only lives in Wales, British Columbia. He fights fires. He's a firefighter in the summer months. He fights fires in Wales, British Columbia. Best luck to you. I'm Frank Dart. You're listening to Joey Only show every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Say hi, Joey Only. I'm Frank Down.
Frankie, the weatherman. Frankie, the weatherman. Who? Frankie. Who? Frankie.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not.